Trainers of all types, drafters of all disciplines, welcome to the MagneZONE. I'm your host, Cossack11, and with me, as always, is Adam.
Hi, this is take two, fourth wall broken.
Oh, wow. Way to give him a peek behind the curtain. Clutch
Hello.
is also here. And Sam.
Hey.
So, all these things taken away. So, we're going to be going over the matchups for the RDL Week 6 and Alola International Week 2. There was a few kind of free agent transactions that just slipped under our coverage of it last time in the RDL. And were there any new free agent transactions in Alola International? I'll admit I didn't really check.
Yeah, I think that there was a few things.
Okay, cool. I've been really busy because I'm going to be moving in about like a week and a half or so. So, and I've got like a big thing going on next weekend, so I've been kind of scrambling here, so that's why fortunately I have excellent co-hosts who get the match coverage that I can't sometimes. So, and
before we get into this, we would like to thank our sponsors, Andrew
and viewers like Andrew.
Thank you very much. I also want to say thank you, Grounded, for blessing my Legendre polynomials.
Yep,
those things look like a world of headaches.
So, but anyways, RDL Week 6.
Yeah, so let's start off. And actually, this is perfect because Adam can talk a little bit about this one because it's his match for RDL, and that is Akron versus East Sea.
Oh yeah, this game.
Yep. So talk about that a little bit.
This was I think this was the 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
AI was 2 a.m.
That was a busy day.
Yeah, that was 6 matches in 3 days. Anyways, I looked at team breakdown. I brought Rotom Heat, Scizor, Breloom, Mamoswine, Mega Altaria, Primarina. He brought Alakazam, Conkeldurr, Klefki, Heliolisk, Sandslash, Mega Titar. Emerson's last week, and pretty much my priority users just blew holes in his team.
Yeah.
Scizor and Breloom.
Scizor and Breloom were just big threats for Mega Titar.
There's just not much that Titar can do to those two before they just fire off a move.
Yeah, it just let me be able to kind of establish flow. That's about it.
Yeah. And that was Emerson's last game. His team, of course, has been taken over by the new meta, who we're referring to as Numa for simplicity's sake.
Rip Numa.
Rip Numa. And yeah, so that team has undergone some pretty substantial changes since Emerson was coach. Emerson, we miss you on the podcast.
I know, buddy.
Yeah.
Those 2 a.m. matches were great.
So, what's up next?
Up next is Brooklyn versus Los Angeles Solgallios. Once again, another 5-0 in favor of Brooklyn. I'll read the brings now. I'll go back to what I usually do here. Brooklyn brought Silvally, Xurkitree. What type of Silvally? Did anyone
Fairy.
Fairy? Okay, Silvally, Fairy, Xurkitree, Ditto, Suicune, Reuniclus, and Mega Venusaur. Versus Los Angeles Solgallios, Celesteela, Zygarde 10%, Mega Diancie, Scrafty, Cryogonal, and Azelf.
Yep. I watched this one. Yeah, Santoro won this one 5-0. It was kind of a tale of two halves for me watching that match.
Yeah, I remember that because I was in voice chat with you while you were watching it.
Yeah, because at first I was like, wow, this is kind of a good match. They're going back and forth. But the thing was that Santoro really just had Reuniclus in the back there. He was just waiting. And once Scrafty was out, which, Koala brought Scrafty, then Reuniclus came in, set up a Calm Mind or two, and just there's nothing that could be done. Because Cossack, you and I were talking about this, where sometimes when it becomes clear that a coach has no game plan, or I shouldn't say no game plan, but when something happens where it's clear that your win con's threatened, occasionally the reaction is to kind of thrash a little bit, like you cycle through your mons looking for an answer, and that was definitely what happened. Because Koala sent in Celesteela and Continental crushed on that Reuniclus, and it did 20%. And that was the moment where you were just like, this is over. Like, if you didn't know that it was over when their Reuniclus came in for free, you know now.
Yeah. So that was a pretty good match for that Reuniclus. 4 kills.
Yeah. I put this as a footnote. When you bring Diancie, this is a good reason to bring Diamond Storm instead of Power Gem.
Yeah.
It's tempting because you can just throw all your EVs into Spat and not run mixed, but
I think it still hits harder or
Diamond
as
Storm?
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, it hits like it's enough that it's not worth splitting the distance or the difference, excuse me.
And defense boost.
Yeah,
Yep.
the defense boost is fantastic. It's 95% accurate Stone Edge. It's fantastic. And also the animation is just dope.
Yeah.
It really is.
So onwards
next game.
to our next game, which is Chicago Toros versus San Jose Sharpedos. This is just the week of the 5-0s.
It was a very weird match, just to
Clutch-
say the least.
I think Clutch is the one who watched this one, yeah.
I watched this one twice because I forgot. I watched it the first time, forgot what happened, then had to watch it again.
So the brings this time around, Chicago Toros brought Magneton, Tapu Fini, Blacephalon, Flygon, Shaman, Mega Absol. San Jose bringing Ribombee, Victini, Sylveon, MagneZOne, Garchomp, and Pikachu. And it was a 5-0 in favor of San Jose.
San Jose brought just a standard like defensive Sylveon set, and essentially just 1v1 Fini because I mean the whole game plan I think for San Jose was to just abuse the fact that Fini's Chicago were the only like true bulky mons, and once Fini was out of the way, Victini and Garchomp just like tore through the rest of the team.
Yeah, I was gonna say because they have. Oh wait, no, she doesn't. No, she has Shaman now. She has Shaman available for season 6, but Shaman doesn't take hits from Victini very well.
It does not take any hits from a Victini
Or Garchomp.
No.
I use it to wall Garchomp.
What?
Yeah, you can use it to pretty handily
It's not gonna like catching. It's not gonna like catching an outrage. Is the point?
It can be to a kill.
Or a poison
Regardless. Yeah. Regardless.
Anywho.
It can check in a sense. But like yeah, it when you take repeated hits from Garchomp plus Victini, you just don't ever.
So that kind of sums it up. Once that Fini went down, it was open season.
Yeah, and also the Fini set was weird. Clutch, you said that it had like Ice Punch.
Wait. Calm Mind, Moonblast, Ice Punch, and Light Screen.
Now, maybe when she used team building, maybe she
Might have been
accidentally clicked Ice Punch instead of Ice Beam.
Ice Beam.
I'm almost certain that was meant to be Ice Beam, and I think we've all made that kind of mistake before. I mean, I have this season made a similar mistake with running Return without Maximum Friendship on.
Yeah, go ahead and do
Diggersby.
it tomorrow too.
Yeah, we'll get to that, Adam. We'll get to that.
Unless she had like some 5th eye open awokeness where she predicted an Assault Vest Garchomp, so she brought Ice Punch.
The soul list of soul reads.
That's transcending 3rd and 4th. That's going straight to 5th eye open.
Fair enough.
So okay, Galesburg's battle hasn't happened yet for week 6.
Yeah, we'll cover that one
when
later.
It happens. Yeah, when it happens, we'll cover
That's
it.
gonna be a good one though.
Yeah.
That was like match of the week, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. Now we move on to my match against.
Wait, you skipped one.
Oh, I did.
LAC.
Oh right, I did. You're right. For some reason I read LAS and LAC as like the same tab.
Gotcha.
My mistake, 100%.
Yo.
So he's already done his week 7 battle too, but his week 6 match, 6-0 against the Philadelphia Braviaries, and it's because Cresselia just set up.
It wasn't even necessarily Cresselia setting up.
Well, that's true.
It was like there was Slurpuff that sat there and wished forever. I realized actually today I went back and watched portions of that battle because to be honest, the first time I watched it, I was just like in the hallway sitting around watching on my phone. Like I didn't really have time to take good notes.
I can
And the thing
appreciate good
is,
stall, and that's kind of what it looks like right here. When you have a
It
Cresselia
was-
that picks up 3 passive kills and a Slurpuff that wished something into the ground, that falls into a pretty decent stall in my opinion.
as Adam mentioned, it's kind of interesting that meta has gone a different direction than what I think we all kind of perceived last season, which was
Right.
just all offense all the time. Which now it's like you've got Crest in there, you've got a stall Slurpuff
Yeah.
came the other day, and then the big thing that kind of sucked was that Hive made what I would, or sorry, not Hive, Whitehawk, excuse me. Whitehawk made what I considered to be a good play. He had a scarfed QRMB in firing off flash cannons into a Slurpuff. And the Slurpuff stayed in, like it wished once and then protected to get back health. And Whitehawk made the play that I would have made, which is you switch out predicting the Heatran to come in. And he did. He switched out to Lucha. And then Meta went for the play rough. Which I'm not sure if that was him sacking his or attempting to sack his Cupcake, or if it was just
A
him
read
like
in
calling.
his
I'm willing to.
I feel like that's just a hard read to make, right? I think he
Yeah.
was just trying to get. I think if anything, he was trying to get damage on QRMB.
He's
And
I think
trying to
he-
get a free
yeah.
switch.
Yeah. I think he was going for the free switch there, and it ended up
Yeah.
paying off for him. And
Mhm.
it's always tough when that read because it's it's one of those things where I would have put that at like probably like a 70-30 chance that he goes for the Heatran, like in favor of the Heatran switch.
If I'm on Meta's side, that's 100%.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like I put it 70-30 like on the side of like on Whitehawk's side where like he could maybe leave it in to die. People have done that before, and we've talked about like the Chargebugs are Meta is very willing to sacrifice Mons.
Yeah.
More willing than a lot of coaches are to sacrifice a Mon.
And to be fair, that kind of stuff is like predictable. Like people who play Go talk about the fact that like pro players actually sometimes like struggle to play against people who are not as good because they're just not as predictable. And that's the thing is like I'm not saying that meta is not good. I'm saying that meta is like doesn't always make the plays that you expect.
I will say though, I think what this match showcases is that Meta has definitely tempered his aggression, and
week 7 makes me think otherwise though. Like we talk about that match next week, but like week 7 was hella aggressive.
Well, I'm not saying that he got rid of his aggression. I'm saying he tempered it.
Yeah,
That's a fair statement, I think.
That's probably fair.
But yeah, so it was a good match by the Chargebugs. Philadelphia, I mean, it really came down to that was just an unfortunate like.
I think that's. I mean, it just shows the risk of double switch.
Yeah, it does, and so I mean, I know what it's like to get 6-0'd.
Yeah.
I think I right now I think I have the record in the RDL for the most 6-0s against.
Yeah, probably.
Because I have 3.
Oh, nice.
One from season 1, 2 from season 2. I've been 6-0'd a lot.
Geez, would have been 4 if I had just clicked taunt.
True, that Haxorus set though.
The Haxorus set was dumb.
I messed up. Anyways, moving on.
Okay, so now we get to Liverpool. Well, I live in Livonia, but Liverpool, BC versus Seattle Supersonics. Not coached by Sam, but coached by Clutch. I've kind of, in a weird way, been working my way through all of the MagneZONE hosts. So, this was a 3-0 win for Seattle. So, my brings were Frostlass, Rotomwash, Jirachi, Serena, Alolan Muck, and Hydreigon versus Mega Caesar, Infernape, Vikavolt, Hippowdon, Staraptor, and Starmie. And, okay, so we basically, as Sam so eloquently put it, because he saw both of the sets that Clutch and I were bringing beforehand, we planned past each other. And it was interesting. So I brought Toxic Stall Jirachi. And I think it would have worked if I had just been able to punch a little bit more holes beforehand. It didn't help that he had Reflect type Starmie,
Oh,
which I was
fire.
not expecting at all.
That was my favorite set. I'm not gonna lie.
Starmie gets Reflect type?
Yep. I brought it for I originally brought it for like Alolan and Muck, so I could potentially try and 1v1 Alolan and Muck with it.
But you ended up 1v1ing Alolan Muck with something else. So
Yeah, I clicked Specs Bug Buzz on.
Yeah, I did knock off the specs on that Vikavolt, which helped a little bit.
That was fun, just because, I mean, Vikavolt is just, it's incredible power for where it is.
I think I put up a pretty good fight, considering I had no front office at all that entire week, because all the people that, like, Clutch and Sam are my usual, like, immediate go-tos for my front office. They were obviously unavailable because
you were playing us.
Yeah, and Adam was away, and all my other go-tos were unavailable at the time. So,
and honestly, I think the game came down to the fact that, like, Bandit and Fernape just tore actual holes in there.
Yeah,
Bandit and Fernape was the first step of our prep, because I went to Clutch and was just like, yo, what does Cossack have for fighting resistant immunities? Because it was like what, Frostlass and one other thing. Comfey.
None of those like to be
the originals. I was chilling at the pool while I was on vacation, and Clutch sent me his team, and I was looking over it. So really, you were playing all three of us.
Oh, great. Fantastic.
The original set I think for Fernape was Swords Dance and Fernape, but at the time I was like, where do I get that?
I wish you had run Swords Dance and Fernape, because I actually might have been able to beat that.
Yeah. And then I was like, nah. I was like,
that was my thing, because you sent me SD and Fernape, and I was like, nah, bro, let's get some power out of the gate.
Now, I had a couple good plays. I was running Water EMZ Rotom Wash with max special attack investment, and I did 80% to Mega Caesar, anticipating the switch.
I do think that was probably that was decent acknowledgement on your part to just go for Water AMZ, because it really, we didn't have great switch-ins for that.
The water resist on this team, if you don't bring like Celebi or something like that, and I'm not gonna and obviously I'm not risking Starmie in that situation in case you do go for like Volt Switch or something.
Exactly.
And certain things kind of underperformed, but nah.
That'll be the case in any game.
Yeah.
So
Frostlass did its job. It got its spikes set up.
It did Frostlass things. It got one spike.
Got bullet punched.
I hate to tell you this though, Frostlass. For people out there, unless you're supremely lucky or your opponent is supremely stupid, your Frostlass is only getting one layer of spikes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but one layer of spikes is
and that's fine. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying that that's all you're getting. You're gonna be lucky if you get anything other than that one layer of spikes.
Unless it leads something like a little more passive, and then you can taunt and then get a couple, maybe 2 layers up.
It depends on it depends on your opponent's lead. My opponent led Mega Caesar, so it was set the spikes. Oh God, set the spikes quickly before your sash goes down.
It was funny because I said to Sam, like I said, if I see Frostlass, I'm leading Scizor and clicking Bullet Punch twice.
And that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I lost 3-0. Moving on to Oregon versus Pittsburgh. That hasn't happened yet, or
nope, played today. There's a summary.
Oh, there is.
I wrote it.
Right. Well, I'm just saying because I'm going by the sheet, and I didn't see it on the sheet, and I haven't had a lot of. Okay, so Oregon won. It is the week of the 5-0s.
Oh wait, no. Never mind. Adam wrote that. My bad. I watched the game.
It is the week. It is the week of the 5-0s because Oregon wins 5-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stack Attacka did Stack Attacka things after that team was worn down a bit.
Yeah.
It came in once, set up rocks, went back out, and then came in again, ate a hit, click Trick Room, killed 5 Mons.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fact that Ballistic is apparently the king of getting kills with things that he drops? Like
Linoon and
6-0 with the Linoon, drops it. Drops Stack Attacka, brings it in its last week, and gets 5 kills with it. Yeah, that's rough.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're facing Ballistic and he drops a Mon, be prepared for that Mon to go in on you.
That's how it works.
Yep, because
So, yeah.
we choose to believe that correlation equals causation here at the MagneZONE.
Yes, naturally.
Always.
And two data points, definitely a trend.
Yes.
100%.
We're as
And-
reactionary as most sports media, so
Yeah. So now we move on to, I think, the final match. Yes, it's the final match that we have to cover, which is week 6 for Rochester and San Antonio. So our boy Andrew picking up that 3-0 against SAS.
Ooh,
And
that was great. That was a fun game to watch.
Yeah,
For
that's
me, at
probably
least.
honestly that's probably match of the week. Like
yeah, it was really good. Tapu Koko doing its Tapu Koko things.
Coco just went in on that game. Like
Yeah.
once
Good stuff.
Once
So I'll
Registeel was
read
out
the
of the
brings
way.
because I haven't done that for the last couple of matches, but I'll read the brings in this case because I think it's important to know what the brings were. Tapu Koko, Hitmonlee, Latios, Palisand, Vaporeon, and Weavile for Rochester. San Antonio brought Registeel, Crocodile, Mega Latios, Florges, Thundurus T, and Manaphy.
mhm.
Can we just take a second to admire that disgusting offensive core?
oh, it's so
Megalodios,
gross.
Thunderous Team, Manaphy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so gross.
What?
Yeah, it's good.
Mhm.
But-
Can
So
confirm
bad
having
don't
faced
taste
it.
that.
It is good.
I think the big pivotal point in that game. I think I wrote it in the notes, but like Hitmonlee knocking Registeel
Yeah.
Yeah,
legitimately just opened the game up. After that, the fairy resist
But
did
you-
not exist.
mhm.
Yeah.
Clutch, you
Like-
and I talked about this, but like, I mean, honestly, that Hitmonlee getting its boost on Registeel and for free, and the Weavile switch in on Thunderous T are like the two
Oh,
pivotal
so-
moments. Those two moments won the game for Andrew. Although to
Absolutely,
be fair, I don't think the Weavile switch in was actually necessary because like
it wasn't, but he got him
Alice-
something.
But anyways, yeah, the Hitmonlee setup was fantastic. He brought Curse Wider Hitmonlee with Unburden, got to +1, and straight up just O-code of Registeel from 100.
Like
That was-
from full, it was just so beautiful to watch. Honestly,
I think it's and also like it's funny to me because like last week we questioned the Registeel pickup on the podcast. Like we were all kind of like what is this move? Like is it good? And then Registeel came for 1 week, got O-code by Hitmonlee, and then got dropped, as we'll talk about in a second. Like
Yeah.
that Mon did
Spoilers.
one thing. Yeah, sorry.
It's all
That Mon
good.
did. I just love that Mon did one thing for San Antonio and then just got dropped like a bad habit. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
But like in San Antonio, like I mean, it goes to show that they do have the aggressive play style. But Andrew, like I feel like he came prepped for that. Like
Mhm.
Weavile was such a
Mhm.
good check for San Antonio's setup Mons. And also like it was interesting to me because like I wrote in my notes on this that Dominator definitely took the opposite approach from what Adam went for when he played when he played Andrew.
Yeah.
Because like Adam, like when you played Andrew, you were like, I'm not bringing Megalodios because this man
Oh
has
no,
the tools
his
to beat it.
like his entire team just completely messes up the Lottie twins.
Yep,
Yeah.
and Dominator just brought it anyway, and like maybe that's a decent choice because sometimes you bring that and you can break the stuff that counters it or checks it rather.
Mhm.
Clutch ticks.
Yeah. So that covers
Plus, I
the.
didn't like Megalodios anyways,
Yeah.
but
That covers the RDL week 6. We'll get to the free agent transactions after we cover Alola International week 2. And then we'll get to our Mon of the Week after that. Not a lot of transactions to go over, I will say that now. There weren't as many as I thought there might be. So,
Yep.
week 2, Alola International. We'll start with the Brooklyn Bennets versus the Lowland Quakes.
Yep.
And this was a really good match by the looks of it.
it really was.
Adam and I watched that before the show, actually.
Yep. So it was a 1-0 win in favor of Grounded with the Lowland Quakes.
Go ahead and read those brings.
Yeah, the brings for the Quakes: Breloom, Greninja, Clefable, Caesar, Entei, Nidoking, and the brings for the Bennets: Mega Titar, Excadrill, Serperior, Starmie, Cofagrigus, and Aromatisse.
You want to take this one, Adam?
Sure. Yeah. Leeds Slimy was set up to absolutely do great because he just made perfect predictions. Kind of turned back to grounded's favor when he caught Excadrill coming in on Clefable with a Fire Blast.
That was a good play.
It was, because he clicked Fire Blast on a Mega T-Tar.
Yeah.
And if he just D-danced there, there were holes being punched.
Yeah, and I mean, he could have with that Spadef boost. I guess he didn't know that it wasn't like specs or something.
Yeah. Mid-game, that Scarf Starmie picked up a kill, and then Slimy got the worst of luck.
Yeah,
I honestly feel like he got ripped off. He probably should have won this.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, if not for hacks, certainly. Because I don't think that the hacks on Starmie mattered as much as the Stone Edge miss with T-Tar mattered. And followed by because his Mega T-Tar missed a Stone Edge on an Entei, and the Entei retaliated with Sacred Fire and got the burn.
I don't know. I feel like having that extra sack in the back of his paralyzed Starmie would help.
That's fair, actually.
But yeah, the Hydro Pump miss into a full para as Clefable sitting in front of it that would have died to the Hydro Pump goes from 20% to 100. That hurts.
I just think that like once that Starmie was T-waved, unless it was like Natural Cure, which I think was unlikely, then basically Breloom came in and won there, I think. But
yeah, Breloom does that a lot.
Yeah. But to be fair, Breloom was low enough that like I was looking at it, and if he had one more sack, like something that could like protect or something like that, or like hit Breloom at all, Breloom was so low it could have died to Sandstorm damage at the very end. Like that's how close this match was. It was a 1-0 with Breloom in range to die to like another turn or two of Sandstorm.
All right.
Good match.
Yeah, it was a very good match. And,
but unfortunately, there's some hacks.
Well, I mean, that's to be expected. You go into Mons and you expect this kind of thing to happen from time to time. You have to, because if you don't,
he played his ass off.
Yeah. So moving on, we go from that battle to Waynesboro Gallades versus the Los Angeles Lookers. So the Lookers brought Celesteela, Mandibuzz, Rotom Frost, Gengar, Garchomp, and Shaman. Waynesboro brought Tornadus T, Tapu Koko, Alolan Ninetales, Jellicent, Roserade, and Donphan. It was a 4-0 win in favor of Waynesboro.
Ethan has to stop trying to schedule matches with people where he says, "When do you want to kick my ass?" because it's no longer justified.
True. He was the free win, and now he's not.
Yeah.
He has ascended. He's
well, he also kind of stopped throwing. So.
Yeah, I will say I feel like it seems to me now I have like almost zero perspective on zero opinion going in on most of these coaches, because most of these coaches I haven't not most, but a lot of these coaches I haven't ever battled before or had any interaction with in any way, shape, or form. But it seems to me like Ethan is now finding his rhythm a lot more.
Ethan has Mons that he likes and Mons that he doesn't like. And last season he had a team of Mons he didn't like. Sometimes in other leagues he's actually done fairly well. Like he hasn't gone like last season was an outlier in the sense that it's like the only season he has where he's been winless. He's had losing records before, but it's like he hasn't been 0-12 basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like his one win last season was a forfeit.
Right. So okay, so
I want to say something about that match because we've talked about Ethan a bunch, but
I was about to say that and I was like, wait, we haven't really talked about this match yet.
Yeah, no. This is why Tornadus T is actually stupid, is because it's this pivot that can sit at the center of your team. It can come in a whole bunch during the match and just not die. Like it fires off big moves, it U-turns, and it just stays there. It's fast enough that like it's hard to hit. It's a good mon, honestly. This
Such a good mon.
It's honestly terrifying. Like I feel like it's actually like it's underrated and we all respect it. Like we all know it's good.
It's so hard to catch.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it so annoying. It's like you have to catch Tornadus T with some move because it's so like it's fast and bulky and you just to the next 30%. What 30%?
And you can't come in. Yeah,
It can
like,
come in with. It can come in on rocks and defog and take nothing. It actually will heal when it switches out.
yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
So heal 12%.
So and Ethan has a team where he's paired Tornadus T with Coco, which is another mon that's like hard to catch and just does damage and then gets out of the way before you can do much to it. Like you have to catch it with a move on the way in. It's less bulky, granted.
Yeah.
But like then he puts Alola Ninetales and a whole bunch of bulk mons around that. That's actually like a fairly good team comp. That's
Don't
And
forget
he
the
also has a
Mega Gallade.
Oh.
Don't forget the Mega Gallade.
Yeah, that exists.
Veil
Yeah.
plus Mega Gallade is honestly one of the most terrifying things.
You can't Oko, and he clicks Swords Dance.
And then everything dies.
And of
because
course, when a Mega
Gallade has 165 attacks.
and when Mega Gallade has a Swords Dance, you can't lose. It's literally impossible.
Oh, I'm sure we can find a way that's wrong.
Oh
Cossack.
man, yeah.
Oh, Cossack.
The memories. Anyway, so yeah, that was a pretty good match for Ethan right there. I mean, it was a 4-0, and that Tornadus T just did work. So moving on, we now go to the Crane Lake Conkeldurs versus the Atlanta Altarias. And this was a very close match as well. 1-0 in favor of Atlanta. The Brings. Crane Lake brought Bronzong, Jirachi, Linoon, Tapu Bulu, Crocodile, and Girder. Altarias brought Venomoth, Feraligatr, Kartana, Megalopony, Incineroar, and Mismagius. Feraligatr picked up 4 kills in this battle.
Yeah.
Gator.
Did anyone else watch this battle? Because I
haven't had the chance to. I have not.
Yeah, it was fairly recent because it was done kind of last minute.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, shout out to Nadia who like occasionally brings sets that are just fantastic and unexpected. Like I like again, I've talked about this on the podcast before, but like Nadia said to me last season, like her goal was to be like a little bit unexpected with some of the sets she brings. Like she really liked that Fling Tornadus eye last season.
That's a
but like
set.
Yeah.
I mean, she almost got me last season, like with the burn up Arcanine.
Well, here's the set she brought this time. This was a sub D dance bulky Feraligatr.
What?
Oh.
Yep. It was so good. And here's the thing: is it's set up I think it's set up multiple times even. Like it got 3 Dragon Dances and Oko to Bulu with Ice Punch.
Jeez.
It was the closest of matches because at first, like honestly, like Nadia played really well at the beginning in that she brought in a Venomoth on a Bronzong. She recognized that Edsky didn't have hazard removal, got 2 layers of T-Spikes on a bulky team, and the thing was that like when it came down to it, like there were a couple things where she kind of misplayed a little bit. Like I think she should have been high jump kicking the Bronzong to kill. Like there's some different things where it was kind of like, I don't know. They weren't like fantastic plays, but in the end, this Feraligatr set, like it managed to avoid being flinched to death by Jirachi, and then swept the team. Like it was just good prep, I think.
Yeah.
So, and Edsky, I mean, yeah, Edsky had a team that just didn't like T-Spikes, and those were huge. Like she won because Feraligatr and because 2 layers of T-Spikes, which is from turn 2 is rough.
Yeah.
So that's that match.
Yeah, it was a good match. Moving on to the next match here, which is the LA Chargebugs versus the Colorado Agrons. And the Brings, Mega Beedrill, Porygon 2, Victini, Comfey, Scarafty, and Salamence for the LA Chargebugs. Colorado brought Slowbro, Slurpuff, Heatran, Mega Heracross, Lycanroc Dusk, and Zygarde. And it was a 4-0 victory in favor of the Chargebugs.
Yeah. I watched this one too, so I get to talk about it a bunch. Did anyone else catch this one?
I didn't catch this one.
I didn't. I'll freely admit, I haven't caught like any of the battles for either league this week because I've been so busy.
Man, I could talk a little bit of shit then because I'm here studying for a test that decides the rest of my life and still watching matches. It's because I've got to get away from it somehow. So like,
No,
here's the thing. Here was this match. This match made me actually kind of mad because like I felt like it was like Earthflab had decent prep and kind of threw. Like first turn was Slowbro versus Mega Beedrill. Now, kids, for everyone who's listening, when you're in this situation, if you're both at full health, you're not faster than the Mega Beedrill, and it's going to U-turn. So what you do is you click slack off. Now you might be thinking it's going to pursuit or something, and that's great. Like whatever. If it pursuits, that's fine, you know. But the thing is, you slack off to heal the damage that it's about to do to you, because it's about to do a lot of damage to you. He clicked Scald and did nothing to the Porygon 2 that came in, and then threw Belly Drum Slurpuff in front of Porygon 2. Belly drummed, but then like died to taking a hit. And then he switched his heat. Okay, and then also Earthflab manages to get webs up, and he has his Heatran in on a Victini. He clicks Earth Power, outspeeds the Victini, and does like 70% to it. Like gets it in KO range, and the Victini Bolt Strikes because it can't do anything to a Heatran.
Mm-hmm.
And then Earthflab switches out the Heatran into Slowbro. The Victini just Bolt Striked, and he outsped the Victini with Heatran, and he switched the Slowbro into it. I mean, maybe that's a double gone really, really wrong there, and that's the only thing I can conclude about that. But like,
I'll give the benefit of the doubt and say that was probably the case.
I'll give the benefit of the doubt to that. But to me, it's just like it was such a like you Earth Power again there, or if not, you look for like a mid ground play, right? Like use some other move with Heatran if you want to.
That's fair.
I was flabbergasted by the whole thing. Because like to me it was just a bunch of bad plays, and then ultimately what happened is that Earthflab tried to set up with Zygarde 50, couldn't do anything to P2, and Scrafty tidied up the whole thing.
Yeah, and granted, like we don't know the circumstances surrounding the match. Like
yeah, I haven't seen Earthflab. I mean, Earthflab posts videos, I think, so maybe like if
there might be some light shed on the subject later, so we'll give the benefit of the doubt. Like
to me, it looked like bad decisions to me at first, but that's my view.
Right. So moving on from that battle, we move on to the Alola Archers versus the Virginia Caesars, and this is a 3-0 win in favor of the Archers. The Archers brought Lando T, Obama Snow, but on the sheet it says Obama Now. And I kind of like that better almost. Like
Obama
Now! Nihilego, Magmortar, Excelgor, and Mega Gardevoir. The Caesars brought Tapu Fini, Delmise, Alolan Persian, Bisharp, Galvantula, and Emboar. I'll note that right now the biggest thing that I see is that the speed tiers are interesting, and also that the Archers' faster Mons match up very well against the two fast Mons on Virginia's list for this week.
Is there anything from Virginia taking hits from Mega Gardevoir?
No.
No.
But like, this is why if I had been talking to Virginia, I think the thing that I saw was like a little bit of a niche set is running Scarf Bisharp, because like that's something that at the very least revenges Mega Gardevoir.
Yeah.
It would have been a decent Scarf
Queen.
Yeah, it would have. Whatever the case, I'm not sure if does Scarf Nido do enough to a Mega Gardevoir, because that thing is super specially bulky.
If you run Poison Jab, it does.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yep. So, Nihilego went in. 4 kills.
Was a really, really.
It was short.
It was a clutch win at the end there.
Well,
it lived on a sliver.
And even if you look at the matchups, because like look at what we got here. Like Nihilego's dual stab goes in pretty hard here, because you got Tapu Fini and Delmise not liking poison. Bisharp isn't a huge fan of. Well, that's.
Bisharp doesn't take anything from like the only thing that Nihilego can do to it is like HP ground, which I think.
Yeah, so Bisharp is like the good check for that, but you'll note that like Lando T also puts paid to Bisharp pretty well, And Galvantula also doesn't like an M-board don't like getting hit by like stab rock move from Nihilego. So it was a good match for Nihilego here, and like with the support that he had for Nihilego, it's just a good type matchup in general. Very advantageous.
It was a rough matchup for Ace.
Yeah,
I mean
definitely.
he's had Gliscor and Eclipse back to back, right? Like those are two top coaches in AI, so that's like a rough starting lineup.
Yeah. All right, so moving on from there, we now have the Huddersfield Heracross versus the Kyoto Klefkeys. And the Kyoto Klefkeys brought Machamp, Rotom-Mow, Weavile, Megalatios, Metagross, Hippowdon. Huddersfield brought Armaldo, Melodic, Sneasel, Jolteon, Mega Venusaur, and Hoopa Unbound. The Klefkeys take it 3-0.
I still don't know what to say. This Inferage just played to his win con perfectly. He did what he needed to do to get Megaladios in to just do what it does. What I mean by this is he ran Sub, Calm Mind, Recover, Psychic against a team with a Hoopa Unbound and a Sneasel. But he cleared Hoopa Unbound and Sneasel out of the way early, so then late game he just set up and swept.
Jeez.
And I just have nothing but like a round of applause, I guess, because.
That's right.
Well, yeah, he pretty much just controlled it. Just from what I was watching, Infridge just controlled that game.
Yeah, I actually remember now. It's funny. Like I realized I actually did watch this game because that was the thing is that it was good recognition on his part to see like Mega Venusaur can't do anything to Sub's Calm Mind Megaladios.
That is still so risky in my mind.
It's
Two powerful dark types. You know what? I'm gonna bring Mono Psychic. It's fine.
Hey, it worked out for him.
It did.
It did.
I think that also like it. I think we tend to see that as risky as well, but like you have to think of it as like your opponent doesn't know that you're running Mono Psychic until you show them, right?
Well, he also had the banded Weavile where he got it in on Sneasel and Hoopa, and he could just pursuit trap.
That's what Weavile
just needed.
That's what Weavile's so good at.
He did such a good job of corralling Hoopa U because like that if you let that thing just like switch in every so often on like a sack here or there and like do big damage to you and then get out for free. Yeah, that's where if you can't pin it down, you're in trouble.
Yeah. And that with that we move on to another MagneZONE matchup, Akron versus Seattle. And again, the team that is supposed to be coached by Sam is coached by a different MagneZONE host because it's coached by Omega. And Akron brought so if you hadn't figured out, it's Akron Absols versus the Seattle Supersonics with Akron with Infernape, Mimikyu, Kyurem, Mega Caesar, Tyranitar, Silvally, Seattle packing Rotom Wash, Mamoswine, Mega Mawile, Dragonite, Uxie, and Mean Shao, but it's spelled Mean Showa.
Yeah, I'll have to PM Grounded about that. I guess I spelled it wrong.
It's okay.
Wait, no, that wasn't me. That was him. Because I sent him that stuff because I was on a flight within 12 hours.
All right, well, let's just ignore it for now because it's not that big of a deal. And, 5-0 victory in favor of Akron. Mega Caesar picking up 4 kills.
Yeah, Sorry, Sam. Your team just does not want to see a SD Mega Caesar.
Yeah, not really. I mean, the only real answer is Rotom Wash, sort of, and it just checks.
And I dropped the Specs Draco on Rotom Wash.
Yeah. I was going to say, Rotom Wash doesn't recover well from Specs Dracos, so, like...
No. Nothing really does.
No.
I mean, don't try using powerful dragon moves on fairy switch-ins. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
that's a lesson we all learn sometimes.
Oh, you are correct. That's a good lesson.
Yeah. So it was pretty rough to watch.
Only rivaled by the lesson hacks sucks.
Well, I mean, I didn't watch it, but I imagine it was rough to watch. But
Anyways,
yeah. So moving on to, let's see. Yep. California Kyogres versus the Brisbane Scythers. And this is a 4-0 win in favor of the Scythers. They brought Ferrothorn, Reuniclus, Florges, Tornadus Incarnate, Mega Medicham, and Zygarde 10%. The California Kyogres brought Crobat, Mega Garchomp, Smeagol. Smeargle. Sorry, I'm being very much a spelling Nazi right now, and I apologize. It's just tough to read it when suddenly, like, it just surprises me out of nowhere. Kyurem Black, Sylveon, and Alolan Muck.
This match came down to essentially the fact that Eevee brought one thing to like revenge Mega Medicham, and its revenge option takes a ton of recoil. So and like when you have a team with a Ferrothorn, and Reuniclus is a pretty bulky boy,
and Florges
and Tornai will take
is very especially bulky.
Yeah, like it's just gonna take recoil. Pretty sure it had I think it was choice locked in a sense, and eventually got to the point where Mega Medicham just picked it off with Bullet Punch, and everything else on the team was slower than Mega Medicham, and it died, and everything died because Mega Medicham is dumb to switch into.
Yeah. So Mega Medicham picking up 6 kills there. Yeah, and that covers it for Alola International this week, and I'm excited to see what Week 3 has to bring. Yep, that's everything for that league. Nice. Let's go back to the RDL. Free agent transactions. There have been a couple since the last time we reported on it. The week 6 frenzy is now over. It actually was officially over almost exactly a day ago. And so let me just scroll down to the roster changes. So the last one we reported on would be,
I believe,
I think it was Meta or Numa. I mean, yeah, it was Numa.
Numa dropping Magmortar for Zeb.
And so after that happened, because that was the day of us recording. Actually, I think that happened. So the day after we recorded the previous week, the day it went up, Oregon dropped Stack Attacka for Pelipper, Cloyster for Kabutops, Linoon for Escavalier, and Kabutops is now taking over as Zemon for Stacka. So
we have Rain.
We have a Rain core. Now, what I mentioned, the first thing I said when I saw this is that my matchup against Ballistic just got infinitely better. But that's just my matchup. I don't know, like, he's obviously looking at like his battles down the line. And
obviously, yeah.
Or maybe he just wanted Rain.
I mean,
that's a reasonable reason to do things.
I mean, it's fun.
It's I mean, it's the RDL, and it's, I mean, at the end of the day, like, pretty much in fact, I would say every draft league that you're a part of, it's for fun. So if like you want to try something new or fresh, because I don't think this is a bad move. I just think it makes my matchup better against him, because I deal with Rain a lot better than I deal with Stack Attacka and Cloyster.
Okay, one of the things with Stack Attack is like it's a really tough mon to deal with.
It's a mon that absolutely must be planned for. It's a mon that if you plan for it, it's easy to deal with, but you have to plan for it is the problem.
And if you if the user like makes the right call, makes the right steps to make Stack Attack into that kind of, and they keep it and they hold it until they find the right spot. And if they're good at finding that spot for Stack Attack to get that free Trick Room up, things are dying.
Yeah. So
I have a theory. I think the Escavalier ad might very well be such that he has, first off, a steel type at all.
which is
He doesn't-
important. Which is
Yep.
important.
Because you know who he has to beat if he's going to make finals is Mike, who has a Mega Latias now. Or he might even have to go through Dominator. He's in a spot where like he's in a conference that has both of the Mega Latis, and so if
Yeah.
he's gonna like make any sort of progress in the playoffs, he needs something that beats them. And right now his answer was like Clefairy.
Right.
Stack Attack was an answer.
Until they click HP fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Stack Attack hit.
I don't want to use
Stack
Stacka to check the Mega Latis. I just don't. That's a bad idea.
Escavalier.
It's shaky at best, I think.
Escavalier hits sneaky hard.
Yeah, Escavalier is actually really good.
Base 135 attack on
Yep.
Escavalier
And
is ridiculous.
and neither of those Latis are living a Mega Horn from that thing.
Nope.
Not a chance.
Choice band is 219%.
Exactly. It kills it twice over.
So
You can run no investment, looks like.
yeah. So moving on from that, San Antonio dropping Registeel for Ambipom. Poor Registeel has just been passed around and dropped by like half of the league now.
Yeah.
Registeel for Ambipom and dropped Type Null in favor of Girder. So Girder.
Yeah.
Interesting choices. I
like Ambipom on this team.
Yeah, I like Ambipom better, certainly better than Registeel on this team.
I think what Ambipom gives a better matchup against.
You kind of
Ambipom
cut out a little bit there. What was that?
Ambipom is really good at checking offense, and I think that gives Dominator a better matchup on that.
Yeah,
because he struggled with teams that have just brought straight offense against him.
Well, yeah, we saw that.
Just this last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yo, he can run nasty plot baton pass sets with Ambipom now.
Baton pass things in the.
Yeah, baton pass and nasty plot to Mega Latios.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Have a good day.
Or just run offense.
And
Nasty plot offense. Fine.
Numa dropping Mesprit for Gigalith. Oh, dang, I wish I had seen that, because I might have actually been willing to pick up Mesprit, but it's too late now.
It is.
Gigalith is an interesting mon. I gotta pull up their roster again.
I think
because they've made a lot of changes.
That's type diversity, I think.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Because he already had he picked up Mega
yeah.
Lot. He picked up regular Latias.
Yeah.
And so that's like.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. And Gigalith, I think Gigalith will be fine for this team. Because like it actually gives like Sand is actually not bad for this team. It's not great for this team either, because like
Sand is a nice chip always. So much.
Sand is a nice chip. And
Until
also like Gastrodon doesn't get hit by the sand. Ferroseed doesn't get hit by the sand. Klefki doesn't. Porygon 2 doesn't care.
Not really.
I mean, it's definitely like.
He has like things that like appreciate sashes being broken by sand, like Mega.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Lottie,
Oh yeah,
Conk.
I forgot that he picked up Mega Pinsir, didn't he?
Yeah.
We got Pinsir back on the team. That's gonna be fun.
Yep.
Mega Pinsir and Latias is like that.
And
Conkeldurr.
Conk. And
Yeah.
Conk.
That's a pretty brutal offensive core there.
And Gigalith hits hard too for a tier 4.
Right, it
He
does.
hits quite
and,
hard.
and we were talking about this the other day.
Same
Sam
attack,
and I were
same base.
that Gigalith actually has a
35.
surprising amount of like back pocket utility.
Mm-hmm.
So
Decent
It's gonna
Rocksteader.
I think it was a good pickup for EC at this stage.
It's
Yeah.
got 135 base attack as well. So
It's
and
nice.
he gets his own Spadef boost from Sandstream.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that actually, he also promoted Latias to Z Captain, which makes sense. And he also promoted Gastrodon to Z Captain. So
Can't get knocked off. Doesn't take less damage from knockoff. You want to run a Z move on.
Yep, definitely. And
I feel like Emerson should have been running Z Gastrodon from the beginning just for the memes. He should have been trying to get Gastrodon to the top of the MVP board.
board.
You're gonna need a Storm Drain boost to do any sort of damage.
Yep. Nah, dude. Specs.
Specs
He's got
move.
He's got
No.
respectable
But
base 90,
Gone, just in general.
base 92 special attack is respectable.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we speaking of like theory moning.
Wait.
Wait.
Yeah,
AI
talk
has
about
moved.
AI. AI had trades.
Oh, it did. Okay, I'm sorry. I
Mhm.
asked earlier and no one said anything. So
I did say something. You
Oh.
just didn't hear me.
I guess
I'm not salty.
okay.
Nobody ever listens to me.
All right. Well, by all means, announce those real quick.
Shall we? So, we have a couple trades effective week 3, just 2. Nice little trades.
Oh yeah, I see.
First things first is Earthlab dropped Mega Heracross for Mega Manectric. I have to go kind of pull up his roster real quick.
I like that a lot for his team.
I do too.
Because right now his special threat was Heatran.
And momentum's nice
And that's
for
it.
40 grand.
Yeah, for Heatran specifically.
Granted,
Yeah.
it is they're roughly 2 ground. Whatever. It's still, momentum's still a nice thing to have. And a team that doesn't have like any momentum.
Yeah, it's really hard. I mean, yeah, he was under pressure to
Make
pull
hard
switches exactly, and that's always rough.
And he kind of needed the speed.
Yeah, I feel like
he topped out with like Lycanroc Dusk, but then it was like a drop off to Zygarde.
It's
Durant's there as well, though.
True, but Durant's ass. So
Durant's not exactly reliable.
No.
You're gonna miss half your moves.
That's true.
Pretty much.
It's interesting to me that he has, just a side note, it's interesting to me that he has Mesprit as a Z user over Durant. But
Yeah, it's
anyways.
that is interesting.
Yeah.
So the other
And he
switch, go ahead.
drops Durant.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Immediately, not long after. And Ambipom for Durant. That was his pickup. So maybe the switch is coming? Because he didn't drop Durant. Yeah, he dropped
Ambipom's
Ambipom
kinda
for
meh.
Durant.
The end of Hobbs kind of meh, regardless.
Mhm.
So
So yeah.
So moving on to the final free agent transaction, which is Ethan dropping Crustle and picking up Alolan Raichu.
who
No
needs
idea why he
spikes?
drafted Crustle in the first place.
I mean, Crustle's a decent below average spike setter.
It
Yeah.
gets spikes.
It
Yep.
does. It gets spikes and rocks, and that's like that is the thing that it does.
It's much like Frostlass in that regard, in the sense that it's literally just there to set a hazard and die.
I just I still like. I mean, maybe a little bit. I just have such a problem with calling Crustle this like bulky dumb chunk. Like literally, somebody stuck like they're like, I want a mon that is just a cubic meter of ground.
Pounds top of table, pounds top of Pokedex. We can fit so much more
Yes.
metamorphic rocks in here.
Yeah.
Slaps top of crab. This bad boy can carry so much earth.
Yeah.
It has base 45 speed. You'd have to scarf yourself in a shell smash to outspeed anything.
Yep.
You get 2 up, and you might start
you get
killing.
2 up.
You get 2 up, and you're already like.
killing you.
What did you do?
So tell me, what's the weather like in magical Christmas land?
How are you making 2 shell smashes off?
Very
On a
carefully.
Switch and a
Very
Pokestop?
carefully.
You sash and hope that they like do
It has
something that's
sturdy.
not attacking.
Yeah. You.
Just run curse. Just run curse.
Okay.
All right. So now that we've gone over
Wait.
that.
But the point is, we haven't even talked about
A-Rai makes sense.
Yeah,
A-Rai is scary
yeah,
on that team because
the-
Coco gives it the speed boost, which makes it literally uncatchable. I think
basically.
Yeah.
For all
basically
intents and
uncatchable. No, I don't. I actually don't, on terrain. I think it is the fastest mon in any meta, regardless of what happens.
Yeah, and speed equals, dangerous.
And that gives another thing to make the team so much harder to catch when you have Coco and Torn and A-Rai just switching around you. If you don't bring like a solid like ground type plus Rocky helmet, like
It's okay.
Good luck.
He can go as fast as he wants. He's still not outrunning that priority.
It's true.
You and your
Yeah.
priority.
I
You,
love it.
He does have good priorities.
Fantastic, yo.
All
He has
right.
decent
Adam
priority
Adam
switches.
is stacking priority in both leagues.
Yeah.
And it's working.
It's because priority is a good tactic.
Yep.
It is.
All right. Well, now that we've gone over that, let's go into our Mon of the Week, which is the Haunch. Or no, it was Toxicroak. I was original. That's right. We were between Haunch and Toxicroak, and we chose Toxicroak. We'll probably do Haunchcroak at a later date.
Well, I mean, there's in a way they're similar. You can run both with Mind Games with Sucker Punch.
I mean, that's true, but the same could be said of literally anything that has Sucker Punch.
Dude, you just compared Crustle to Frostlass because they both use spikes and die. I don't think you're on any sort of grounds to say that I'm drawing things that are a stretch.
There it is. There it is. Sam yells at Cossack. Check that off the bingo sheets, people at home.
It's happening more now. I'm an angrier person, okay? It's happening. Like,
Look, it's just because he saw 2 Cresselia sweeps this week. Like,
yeah, no, I'm angry, but also it's the whole thing that Cossack, you're a little bit salty, and everyone knows what salt does when there's like a gradient. Osmosis happens. You're passing some of your salt to me through the membrane of the internet.
Also,
With the
side note,
Rowlet?
you're below him in the recording studio, so that salt's pouring right down to you.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm just raining so much salt on this poor lad right now, and he's just absorbing it.
Obviously, Rowlet and Toxicroak and Haunchcroak are the same Pokemon because they all learn Punch.
No, but you are right that the way that they are used is very similar.
And for me, that's like, I mean, that's a Gen 5 thing, because Toxicroak in the Rain back in Gen 5 was a thing where you run sub bulk up with Sucker Punch and Stab Move, and that does work. Because the thing is, like, and that's the thing, I mean, honestly, the coolest thing about Toxicroak is that it's a mon that you wouldn't think that it would be versatile, and its typing is a little bit weird. It's certainly not good defensively. But
the Psychic weak to ground, like
yeah, I mean, Psychic and Ground are like 2 of the most common attacking types, right? Like,
yeah,
you're gonna catch one of those. But like, if you start getting that thing bulk ups, it gets somewhere good. Or you could nasty plot with it.
Or you can nasty plot and crit with your vacuum lamp.
Oh no!
Oh, here it comes.
That's a 4% chance of happening. Did you know that? It's like, it just doesn't happen. Like, except for when you don't want it to.
There's also, what, a 6.7% chance that I got flinched 7 times in a row from a Togekiss?
Yeah.
Everybody press F in the chat to pay respects.
If you're listening this far, comment F in the...
Hi, Andrew.
Like, the Toxicroak is a really cool, like, Pokemon. Just, like, it has that really variety, has setup on both sides, has decent attacking sets that like the fact that you can boost by 2 stages at once, which is nice.
And the world's deepest move pool.
Yeah, its move pool is dumb fat.
Its move pool like rivals Lucario with how deep it is.
Yeah. So Gen 4 move pools are actually
pretty
kind of
much.
fire.
I would say Lucario is pretty much like the standard for deep move pools, because like there's Mew, but you can't really count something that learns everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like obviously Spherical has a deep move pool, but it can't use it because it's garbage.
And I think the reason that like I think Toxicroak gets passed over a lot in draft because of its like kind of
it's a weird typing.
Yeah,
like
it's a weird
jack of all trades, master of absolutely none of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to be fair,
Toxicroak's really cool niches is the fact that it can beat Bulky Waters by itself.
True.
It'll treat Suicune like it doesn't care.
Until they just switch
there's
out.
a little self-censoring. I caught that.
It does not care about Suicune at all.
That's
the first things it can beat Bulky Waters by itself because it gets dry skin. It gets free setup moves and Swords Dance.
If your opponent is running a Toxicroak, my recommendation is if you have Suicune on your team, don't try Crocune because that's a good way to accidentally get goozled by Toxicroak. Because it'll just set up all the Swords Dances on you.
Yeah, and this is one of the things is that like Toxicroak is never going to bring anything defensively to your team unless it has 3 or more bulk ups, and even then,
because 83, 65 is
right.
Like, yeah, it's not the worst. But
it should be noted, Toxicroak is also really good against Toxapex. Because most Toxapex sets, most of them, The only move
That's true.
that they're running is the only offensive move they're running is Scald.
Scald.
It'll
And
set
it's
up
immune
on
to
them, yeah.
toxic.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get a free sub on
And you can
Toxic
use it
at
to
the very
absorb
least.
toxic spikes.
Mhm.
Yeah, so one of my favorite Croak partners is Zoroark.
Ooh.
Because like their weaknesses are covered on each other, and the fact that they get reliable setup and they can like almost mimic each other's move sets to an extent,
Mhm.
because they both get Sword Dance plus Nasty Plots. Like you both run either side, so you're kind of playing a mind game. Like one, you can set up with one, and they go, well, am I hitting this or am I hitting Zoroark? And they throw a psychic move and it's Zoroark. They lose a Pokemon.
Writes down Toxicroak Zoroark offensive core question mark for next season's draft list.
You also want to throw that with Infernape. Infernape's a really cool partner too with those two.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was what I was gonna say is that in a weird way, like Toxicroak has kind of elements of Infernape in it, and that it can be physical or special. It has setup moves on both sides. It has priority on both sides, but not stab.
Not stab physical.
Yeah, not stab physical. And of course, Sucker Punch is not exactly reliable priority.
Yeah.
But it's also nice that it gets Sucker Punch because one of the things it fears is psychic attackers who are faster.
Right.
I mean, having that Sucker Punch there means that you don't really have to worry about taking a hit from Azelf if your Sword's danced up. You're just gonna Sucker Punch that thing, and it's gonna all pretty hard.
Well, yeah, and you also talked about the Sucker Punch mind games and the fact that it has you can easily use this move pool to bluff the Sucker Punch if you don't actually have it. You can also bluff not having the Sucker Punch, and actually have the Sucker Punch to bait in the Psychic type to KO it. Like you've got a lot of options with Toxicroak. Toxicroak is a very good utility offense mon.
Gets taunt, cool move. It's just such a cool move pool.
Yeah, and
Pursuit.
You've got you can run the Life Orb set. I'd venture to say that in certain matchups you could probably run a Scarf set and get away with it.
If you want memes, you just run Acupressure and pray.
Yeah, good meme set.
Glorious. Yeah, no, this Toxicroak is a good tier 3. It's going to give you some, like you said, flexible move pool, good coverage. It's got the stats to back it up too. And being able to 1v1 bulky waters is very nice.
And who knows, maybe it'll come through with a crit for you in a time where you need it most.
Indeed.
Unfortunately.
Did you know that the crit chance went down between Gen 6 and Gen 7 from 6 to 4? You can look it up on Bulbapedia. It's funny.
Our rematch, I'm bringing my crit Drapion. I'm bringing my crit Drapion. I'm setting up a Focus Energy. I'm critting all 6 of them.
I love how we've created this running gag of we bring up Adam's most painful moments.
Adam has the worst luck possible times.
Adam has painful moments.
There's a lot of them.
I do too, but see, Adam, the thing is, I already make fun of myself for them, so I no longer become a target.
Well, so do I. Flame War Facade, I talk about all the time.
That's true.
No.
Well, how can we not talk about Flame Orb Facade? I mean, come on. Heck, Toxicroak can run Flame Orb Facade.
I don't know, dude. I've given you quite a bit of shit about the fact that I have a +9 differential for you that would be +12 in 2 games if I had just clicked Taunt.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's true. And we do also frequently bring up the me setting sticky webs on myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, plenty to roast you about, and we've only played 2 games.
But I mean, I accept it. I take it in stride.
Yeah.
I don't know what my overall differential against you is, Cossack.
I've never beaten you. I'm pretty sure.
I was about to say
I'm gonna say, considering my previous 2 seasons' performance, that it's a safe bet that you've not lost to me.
Oh,
No, I
I
haven't.
know I'm
That can
3-0.
change
I think
tomorrow.
I think I'm 3-0 like plus 10 against Cossack.
oh, see, nice.
No, you're plus 9.
Plus 9?
Yeah, because you.
Oh,
No.
tied with me in one less game, boy.
Actually, no. I don't think. No.
I remember. I think
No.
the first one. The first
No,
game was a
you're
3.
no. You're plus 7 against
Plus-
me.
and now to end the podcast, the whole crew struggles with basic arithmetic.
Well, because I was struggling to remember season 1 because I only faced you once season 1.
No, you faced me twice season 1.
It's all right.
Did
I lost point. I took a quantum
No,
mechanics test
that's
once
right.
where the only
Santoro
points I
is the one I
lost were.
faced once.
Oh, there you go.
Season
Yeah.
1, right?
Yeah, I took a quantum mechanics test once where the only points I lost was because I wrote
So,
2
yeah,
plus
it would
3
be plus
equals
10.
6. That was a bad day. It's like I remembered how to do quantum mechanics. I didn't remember how to add 2 plus 3.
Yeah. So with that bombshell, I hate using that because like so many other things use that. But
With that,
with
use it
that amount of arithmetic that boggles the mind, certainly boggles my tired mind at this late hour, we end today's podcast, and we will catch you next week with more intense action from Alola International and Royal Draft League. Thank you for listening to the MagneZONE. We will catch you again. Peace.